Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games and forgotten settings the roll the dice they deserve. I am your host, Game Master George, and wow, a bunch of Kickstarter projects just got released. So in the next couple videos, we're going to be taking a look at some of the new Kickstarter projects that I've been waiting for, see if they're actually holding up to my pre-Kickstarter campaign launch expectations. Starting today with Wilderfeast. Wilderfeast, a tabletop RPG about monster hunting and campfire cuisine. There's only one law in the one land: you are what you eat. Interesting tagline, but they've got a video here. Let's take a look at what they've got.
Monsters, in their infinite variety, roam the one land. Beautiful, brutal, playful, and ravenous. Silk-robed merchants pay the starving and desperate to poach the last members of vanishing species. Mutated rangers called Wilders fight to maintain harmony between humanity and nature. They hunt the creatures they must, nurture the ones they can, and consume the ones they fail to save. For like all monsters, they derive their power from the one law of the one land. You are what you eat.
That's much more deep than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a silly go eat monsters and get their powers thing. You are the monsters and you're trying to stop them from being hunted into extinction. That's an interesting outlook, something new, something different. I can't wait to see how they've implemented this. So Wilderfeast, you are what you eat. Wilderfeast is an RPG about becoming part of the natural world by making it part of you. Players assume the role of wilders, monster hunters and chefs who wield gargantuan kitchen implements, and that's why I kind of thought this was going to be a gag game, and gain powerful mutations from each monster they eat. Using these powers, they seek harmony between humanity and the wild. In Wilderfeast, you take the role of mutated rangers roaming the land trying to stop the frenzy. Oh, what's this? An eldritch virus which makes kaiju-esque monsters violent and self-destructive before leaping to stronger hosts. Already we have a more interesting hook than what we got from Obajima. You hunt monsters with your trusted pack of other wilders and an oversized cooking utensil in your hand. You cook monsters using the secret techniques to purify the frenzy. Monsters mutate you further, you feed monsters, healing and comforting those you can. Humans use a D8. Monsters use a d20. Wilders are both, so they can choose which of their sides to embrace when taking tests. Oh, okay. So your human side lets you have control, but you're getting a weaker die as a result. Your monster side is theoretically going to have some risk of falling into that frenzy that they've mentioned, but you get the benefit of getting that d20. All right, we're going to download the Quickstart in a minute, but first we're going to look at the rest of this page. The game in a nutshell: free play. Set goals, roll tests, develop your relationships, okay? Explore the wild as you follow signs left by the monster. Discover tracks. Now, what are they offering? They're offering a cookbook with 10 recipes, okay? Poster, collector's box with a Wilderfeast branded apron. Collector's, woo! 115 pounds, 125 USD. Okay. And what exactly are you getting? And that's for the early bird. Normally 130. Ooh, boy. That's an expensive collector's box if all you're getting is a cookbook, a poster, a box, and an apron. Now, granted, the apron is actually probably expensive to produce, would be my guess. But that's not a lot for a collector's edition that carries that kind of cost. The world of Wilderfeast is the one land, a post-apocalyptic supercontinent. The one land is vast, wild, and old, populated by humans and monsters, extraordinary creatures who take inspiration from paleontology. Yes, I love my dinosaurs. Cryptozoology and works like Monster Hunter and Godzilla. The one land is also vulnerable. Humans, relative newcomers here, have unleashed the frenzy. Oh, so the humans actually caused the frenzy. An eldritch virus, which makes coexistence between humanity and the creatures every day more difficult. All right, how to play. This is what I want to learn. This is my bread and butter. How to play. Fast, customizable, and easy to learn. Customizable is one of those words that I feel is a bit of a red flag in Kickstarters. Not because it's a bad thing to have a customizable game, but games which tout themselves as customizable often are actually just very loosely defined. So rather than being customizable in the terms of giving you a toolkit to build things out, it's leaving things open-ended so you can create whatever you want in theory. But without such a toolkit, those customizations don't work very well in practice. So we're going to need to wait and see here. Is this something where it's just an open-ended system where you're free to create what you want? Or are they actually giving you tools for customization? All creatures, both humans and monsters, have these attributes. Styles, which are approaches to action, such as mighty, precise, swift, or tricky. They define the basis of your dice pool. Skills are the actions themselves, like assurance traits, feature with both a premise in the fiction and a unique mechanical effect. Sounds very much like the Blades in the Dark system, where you have the overlying attribute, and then you have sub-attributes within it. I don't know if that's the way it's going to be. That's just what's calling to mind right now. When something's at stake, you roll a test. A test combines a style and a skill, such as a mighty call to intimidate. Okay, so maybe it's not going to be that. Every test combines a style with a skill, such as a mighty call to intimidate a monster into backing away, or a swift search. Simple but flexible dice pool system. Built around the central idea, humans use d8s, monsters use d20s. You can switch between the two dice. You gather a to build your dice pool, gather a number of d6s. Wait, what happened to d8s and d20s? Number of d6s equal to your level in the test's style, such as mighty, precise, swift, or tricky. These are called your style dice. Every 5+ grants you a success. Then add your action dice, which determines the quality of the success you eventually... Okay, so humans use a d8 for their action die, while monsters use a d20. If you focus up, you stay true to your human side, add a d8 to your dice pool. Consistent and reliable. If you go wild, you embrace your monster side, choose one of your traits, and describe how it helps you in the situation. Then remove one style die and replace it with a d20 action die. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be taking that d20 at some kind of risk to yourself in terms of falling to the frenzy. Instead, what you're doing to get that d20 is taking away from your style dice. The style dice determine if you're going to succeed, and this action die seems like it colors the success a little bit. So you're trading a more reliable success for a potentially more powerful result. Tests create a spectrum of results beyond binary success and failure. The range of choices when making tests also accommodates different play styles you can aim for: big numbers, deep strategies, and tactical play. Alright, example of play. We have 3 mighty, so we start with a 3d6 pool. With the pangolin-like plates and the natural defense trait, she trades one of those d6s to get the d20. She gets a 5 and a 1 on the d6s, and a 17 on the action dice. She gets a success. And with that d20, it is an easy success. I hope that there's a table that's giving you examples of what a 1 versus a 20 is when you get that action die. Wilders are the ones most capable of stopping the spiral of fear and death that's consuming the one land, not a formal order. Some look like cavemen, others like wandering knights. Each Wilder has a tool, their weapon, and they define your class. I have to say, I'm not sure why this system needs classes. Up till now, it has seemed like a very free-form, free-built system. I'm not certain that classes are going to add anything to this, but we'll find out, give them the benefit of the doubt until we actually see an example. Then each Wilder has a specialty, which corresponds to a monstrous lineage. So we're combining 2 different classes effectively here to create one custom class. 8 specialties like roaster, fisher, butcher, or gardener. Monsters! The One Land's ecosystems are original but not alien. All monsters celebrate and exaggerate the features of real animals. From dinosaurs, yes, to dogs. Their supernatural abilities are grounded in the struggles they face to survive. Sorry, I read ahead a little bit. A breathtaking variety of creatures that share this world with humans and wilders. A whole 30+ creatures. I wouldn't really call that breathtaking, so I hope there's guidelines for creating your own monsters, otherwise you're going to run out of enemies. Okay, combat. Modern and versatile style. Okay, sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Modern combat isn't a bad thing. I like a loose narrative style of combat as much as I like tactical combat. They both scratch different itches for me. But again, it's a buzzword that sometimes clues into less than ideal thought put into the combat system. Wilderfeast features a modern and versatile style of combat that blends puzzle-solving thrills and fast-paced action strategy. Each creature gains 3 actions at the start of their turn during combat, which they can spend on the following activities. Okay, so you have a 3-action system, you can split them between whatever. Can you double up? That's always the question. Combat orbits around the monster, so you measure all distance in combat using strides. Wilders spend combat between 0 strides, where you're right on top of the monster, and 4 strides, where you just barely register as a threat. This feels like the exalted system of ranges, where you would be close combat to far. One of the things that I ran into with exalted as an inexperienced DM with that system was trying to track relative distance between multiple parties. But it seems like this system is based around one enemy, so this would work pretty well. And the feast, the iconic meals of the Wilders, combine the roughness of campfire cooking with the ceremony of a holiday festival. These Wilder feasts are celebration and mourning all wrapped in one. Alright, let's learn about eating these things. After you eat the feast, choose a style, skill, or trait in which the monster has more levels than you or which you don't have at all. Then permanently gain a level in that style, skill, or trait. So basically, once you have the monster's stat block, you just give it to the player characters after they kill it, and they see what they want to steal from it. I expected something more custom there? I expected something a little bit more complicated, requiring tables and rules of different abilities that you could get by boiling down different parts of the monsters, but that's clearly far and beyond what this should be. What they have here is a very simple system for translating a monster into a buff. When you have a cooking opportunity, you camp, you select ingredients, and how much stamina the meal restores, typically 1 for each ingredient used, and determine the meal's effect. Okay, so each ingredient, this is more like what I was expecting. Each ingredient has specific effects. You get your ingredients together, the number of ingredients determines how much it refreshes you, and then you choose one of the ingredients to impart some kind of special effect on you until presumably your next meal. So let's learn about this book. Letter-sized, hardcover book, 250 pages with full color art throughout. Fast and robust character creation with 6 tools, 8 specialties, and suggestions for your 3-course backstory. Streamlined and accessible rules, 30+ monsters, The Last Shamig, a set of 4 standalone scenarios, very important and something that is often overlooked. Having an intro adventure is very important for setting the tone and style of games that you expect to be run with your system. Alright, so let's talk about the reward tiers. The PDF is $24. That's a little bit higher than I would usually want to spend on a PDF, but I understand. I usually hope that it's around 20, so it's not that much higher. Now for the meal. Okay, so for $54, you're getting the physical book, 250 pages, you're getting the PDF of it as well, you're getting the Adventurous Core Book, and the One Land map poster. $54, that doesn't seem like a bad price. Assuming that the quality is there, that's about what I would expect to be paying for this. And there is the Gourmet, physical copy of that. You're also getting a set of Wilderfeast dice, the game screen, and that adds an extra, what was that, $15? Then there's the Banquet version, adding about another $30, gets you the deck of monster cards, deck of area cards, and deck of technique and condition cards. And then we have the collector's edition. This is what we saw before, $135 approximately. And now you're getting some useful tools. Yes, you're getting the box, whatever, you're getting the bag, you're getting a tick counter, it looks like, as well as the range tracker, journal pack. I don't get journal packs, but whatever. And the apron. Probably not worth it for me. If I were to decide to back this, I would probably back at the hardcover level and get just the book. $50 for just the book is a standard price. This, I'm sure all those components are very expensive to produce, but there's nothing that is actually jumping out. All right, so we've taken a look at their page. Let's take a look at their quick start. Having a good quick start is extremely important, and it's not always as simple as you might expect to make one that's actually useful. This is an 85-page quick start. Oh boy, I've no doubt that there's a lot of really good information in there then, but the shorter you can make your quick start, the more useful it's going to be. It should be a quick and concise rules summary of your game, a sample adventure that's just a couple scenes, and your sample characters. Just scrolling through this quickly, a lot of this is actually what we've covered in the Kickstarter already. We have 4 styles that range from 0 to 5 for monsters and 1 to 5 for wilders. So you'll have a minimum of 1 in everything. Pre-generated wilders start with 3 in one, 2 in another, and 1 in the remaining 2. Then we have skills. Skills range from 0 to 3. You start with 1 in 3 of them and 0 in the remainder for the pre-generated characters. This gathering information bit here is actually useful for anybody running any game. If something is common knowledge or obvious, you should know it. If you have a background that would argue that you should know it, then know it. If you have no reason to know it, but you have a way of finding out, like a relevant skill or a book, make the test. And if you don't have any reasonable way that you can justify that you know it or could learn it, then you don't know it. You only should make the test if there's actually a reasonable way that you could learn it. I like that, and that's something that I would suggest more people steal for their own games. The full version of Wilderfeast contains rules for customizing these attributes during character creation. That is what I was hoping we would see. Signs that you'll be able to customize these bits of your character. Alright, so we have some example traits here. Grit, life's quintessential will to live, costs 1 success, but increase A by 1. I'm guessing that means the action roll. Okay, and here's an example of how that die matters right here. This is something else that I was hoping to see. Not that it was going to be just an open-ended description of how well you do. We have the ability Clean Cut here. It costs you 3 actions, because remember, you get 3 per turn. Make a mighty strike or a precise strike against a creature within 1 stride. If you succeed, you deal A times 2 part damage. So that is a time when, using your monster die, you could potentially get up to 40 damage dealt, but if you're keeping your focus, you're only doing up to 16. That's what I was hoping to see, ways that that action die was going to have mechanical import. This quick start is very thorough. For some people that want a full understanding of the game before they back it, this is going to be a very good read for you. I will say that it is a bit too much for what I like to see in a quick start. I like to see a quick start that's 20 to 30 pages. Some people are going to disagree with me there and want as much as possible crammed into the quick start. But in my opinion, it's a quick start. You should be able to read it quickly and get going. One of the quintessential examples of a good quick start is, in my opinion, the light-hearted quick start. You're given your pre-generated characters, and then as you play through the starter adventure, you are learning the mechanics as you go, with each scene set up to teach you about another element of the game. Here, you're expected to read a ton of pages to learn how to play this game. Now, again, it's not a bad thing, and for a lot of people who are used to just sitting down and reading a rulebook, it's going to be fine. But when you're making what you call a modern, customizable, free-flow, and easy-to-learn game, your quick start should make it easy to learn, not need to read pages and pages and pages and pages of rules. Now, all that said, there is one other thing that I would like to take a look at, and that is Horrible Guild themselves. So let's just see how they've done on their previous campaigns. So this appears to be their first venture into actually producing a tabletop role-playing game. Actually, one more quest, a dexterity comedy RPG. Let's take a look and see how they did with delivering this project. So, $115,000 were pledged for this campaign. It was estimated delivery of March 2023. It's now September of 2023. So, in theory, it should have been fully delivered for 6 months. So, it looks like they have fallen quite a bit behind with getting pre-production samples in August. That means pre-production samples 5 months after they were expecting to deliver the product. So I would expect similar delays here with their other project. Let's take a look at one of their other ones, see if we have similar delays. Oh, let's go to the board game version of Dungeon Fighter. Let's see how long it took to get that out. Available rewards, estimated delivery was September of 2021. Fulfillment ended in September of 2022, a full year of delays before everything was completed, with fulfillment not starting into July of 2022. So yes, it seems like you can expect some delays when you're actually pledging for this. Looking at their estimated delivery, we have estimated delivery of September of 2024. If this is a deal breaker for you, it does seem like there will probably be some delays involved, and especially with production of physical materials outside of the books, that's not uncommon. I will say that this is always up in the air, and the past few years have been very iffy when it comes to actually completing fulfillments because of events in the world. If they're saying an estimated delivery of September 2024, based on the projects that I've looked at here, I think it's more likely that you would be getting this at the very end of 2024, maybe into 2025. If they hit some serious delays, it could even be mid-2025, based on the Dungeon Fighter game. But anyway, would I back this game? I will probably back it at the hardcover level. It's an interesting concept. It's something that I feel like I could probably play with my kids when they get older, while still being something that I could play with my adult friends as well. The concept of you are what you eat, of hunting these monsters out of necessity and gaining their powers, is very interesting, and I can see some good story potential coming out of it. The mechanics seem fairly light, but I think that the complexity is going to come from traits, which is the way it should be. The core mechanics of your game should be simple to understand, with then special abilities adding additional complexity. I'm looking forward to seeing where this ends up, whether I decide to back it now, or if I get a little bit cold feet and wait for the actual book to release. The delay is do sometimes kill it for me. Anyway, that's enough of me yammering on. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to check out any of our other Kickstarter looks, both at games past and the ones coming soon, you can check out this playlist over here. Anyway, thank you for watching, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.